CarX Street just officially endorsed mods on their Instagram today, and there's some really ugly truth that we have to talk about. Let's go. Real quick before we get into it, I do have a disclaimer for you guys. I have not been playing CarX Street because I feel like the game just got a little bit stale. I'm at the end game. I finished all of the clubs, and I'm just not in a position to grind out this game for street coins in order to build cars to take on the time attacks, which are really the end game for this game. It's really just building cars and customizing, and you need currency to do that. And I'm not going to go out there and mod my currency. It's just not me. But because I want to talk about mods today, I think it's important for me to jump back into this and just experience the game. So for the last hour, I've just been playing the game, just trying to feel all of the new physics that came out with the 1.1.0 update. And honestly, the game feels pretty good. I do miss it. I want to play it a little bit more. But today's conversation is really not about me playing the game or not. The issue is that CarX Street actually posted this on their Instagram. What's up, drivers? We know that you use mods in CarX Street PC, and we absolutely don't mind. The main thing is that it shouldn't interfere with other players or act like cheat codes. If they're graphical mods that help to make the car look better and don't disturb others, why not? However, after recent updates, some mods are still not working. We want to clarify that we haven't blocked your creativity for a reason, and we are not going to. On the contrary, we will try to improve the connection between mods and CarX Street PC. Enjoy the game. Honestly, I am blown away by this statement. I'll tell you why. Number one, mods generally are not supported in games, particularly games that have a competitive aspect. Now, I know CarX Street is not the most competitive game, but on the map, you have these things called time attacks. This is some of the most competitive racing there is, and it's because the rewards for this are pretty good. For the top 100, you get 175,000 credits. That's actually decent money. The end game races only reward you around 15,000 per race. So to get 175 in one shot just by competing in this time attack, that's huge. But to get top 100, it's so incredibly difficult. And since the game's launch, there has been modding and cheating. Like literally from day one, the very first time attack that came out, we had issues with people modding the game in order to get, you know, unlimited NOS, or basically speed hacks, if you want to call it that. You have unlimited NOS, or slowing the game's time down so that you can take turns perfectly, things like that. We've had these issues since the game came out, and because of that, I have sort of gone away from the game. This is the part of the game that I enjoy the most. This is the part that I want to play, but I don't want to compete with people who are constantly cheating at the game, and it's been an issue since day one. So how are they going to balance the cheating and the modding? Is it possible to have mods in this game without having cheating? And honestly, I just don't think that's possible. When you're talking about simple mods, like let's just say modding your money, for example, if you just don't have the time or, you know, the patience to grind out money in this game so that you can build cars, so that you can compete, you just mod the money, right? There's a lot of people out there that mod the money, and the concept seems pretty simple, right? It's not affecting anyone else's game. You're just getting more money for yourself. You're shortening the amount of time that you have to dedicate to the game in order to actually compete in some of this stuff. And a lot of people think that really doesn't affect other players, but it absolutely affects other players. Here's how. This car, for example, at the top of this time attack is a fully built. Look at the rating on this car. It's 1259. The only way to get your rating that high in C1 is to have a lot of street coins in order to swap parts, swap engines or transmissions, or however you need to do it, but it costs a lot of currency to get it there, and that is the issue. If you are modding your currency, you are cheating at this game, and it does affect other players because the rewards are actually really good. If you go to another time attack like this one, some of these rewards are mystery cars. This one is a complete mystery car. You have no idea what you're going to be winning if you get top 50, but if you do it, you get a mystery car. That is important. Now, obviously, this is actually a loaned vehicle time attack. So on this one, it's not quite as important. You don't need any currency in order to compete in this. But there are other times where you're trying to get a mystery vehicle, or you're getting any sort of vehicles, and you have the ability to use your own vehicle. That's where the issue lies. These ones are not that important. This one is only money. But here's the thing. There is a very simple fix for this time attack leaderboard issue. If you have more money in order to build the perfect car, in order to get top 100, and you got that money by modding, it's not as big of a deal if the rewards are only money. If the rewards are specific cars that you can only get by competing in these time attacks, that's an issue, because now all of the modders are gatekeeping anyone who doesn't have the time to grind the game. Now listen, I am all for grinding games. I think it's important that you play the game in order to get the rewards. You still have to be good, but there are lots of players out there that are good at the game that just don't have the time to grind out the money because the economy is so terrible to make sure they have enough to compete in all of these time attacks. Now, big picture, we have to zoom out on this because I'm not being completely fair. Like in this time attack, for example, these cars, these Mustangs that you can get for top 100 and top 500, they're customized Mustangs by the dev team. They're specific cars, they're exclusive, but they come back around. The time attacks rotate and you see them again. So there's another chance to get it maybe next week or the week after. I'm not exactly sure on the frequency, but it's actually quite frequent enough to where as long as you're playing the game, you may not be able to compete in every single time attack that's out there, but you can get it eventually, because eventually you will have the currency. So that begs the question, what is the end game for CarX? Like I said in the beginning of the video, I have not been playing this game because the end game to me feels a little bit stale and boring, and it's because literally the only thing you have to do is build cars and try out these time attacks, and I just don't have the money or the time to grind out all of this cash to play these time attacks. And it's the only thing you do basically to, you know, compete every week. Anyways, there's a more important ugly truth that we have to talk about, and that is that they're planning on releasing a console version of this game. The console version of this game is not going to have mod support, and the PC version, obviously by their statement, is going to have mod support. Now, the biggest thing for this is that there really isn't going to be crossplay. I would be super shocked if they allowed PC modding, not only allowed it, but endorsed people doing it and decided to add crossplay. Having those two things together, you're asking for a community that's going to be toxic. Console players are going to think PC players are cheating. PC players probably not even going to care. They're just going to keep modding. You're just going to have this insane battle within the communities. I just don't think it's going to happen. So with that being said, most modern games are going to offer crossplay. This game's multiplayer is actually pretty cool. If there wasn't any cheating going on, you have a lot of options. You have private servers, you have 16-player lobbies. You have things in this game that you don't have in most AAA racing games these days. So I'm kind of disappointed that they went this direction, as opposed to maybe just not saying anything, taking the need for speed approach and saying like, look, we understand that people mod the game, but not really talking about it in an official capacity, and not really doing anything or telling people that they can now mod the game. It's just kind of a weird stance from a PR perspective for me, because it just opens the door for people that want to cheat, that want to mod the game. And something as simple as just modding your money, which doesn't feel like it's affecting other players, actually does affect other players. So it's very interesting to me that they would actually take this stance, because it definitely does affect other players, and it affects decisions down the line, like whether or not they're going to have crossplay between console and PC. Now, I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm not trying to attack the decision either way. I'm not on one side of the fence or the other. I just want to have a discussion, and I'm curious what you guys think. If you're playing the game, if you stopped playing the game, what's been your experience with mods / cheating, and what do you think going forward of them officially endorsing mods in their games, so long as it doesn't affect other players? But keep in mind what I said, if you do mod the money, you are affecting other players when you play in those time attacks. Now, if you're not playing in the time attacks, okay, but let's be honest, most people, if they're modding the money, it's because they want to build their cars so that they can compete in the time attacks or possibly online. Anyways, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this ranty video. It's kind of weird and long. It's not really my style of things, but I saw this and it just made my head spin. It was kind of crazy. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.